Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic week. Well, this one is interesting. It's not so much about cruises as it is about getting to your cruise and flying on an airplane. I just found this story fascinating of what happened on a Hawaiian flight to South Korea. So I've been following this story a while and I wanted to wait until I seen what happened in the courts. A South Korean man back in February was on a Hawaiian Airlines flight flying from Honolulu to South Korea. And apparently before the flight even started, he had drunk an entire bottle of whiskey. Then once on board, he became belligerent and he started bothering a child who was sitting beside him, to the point where one of the stewards came over and confronted him about his behavior. When they were doing that, the man lunged at the steward and had to be detained. There were some U.S. service personnel on board and they helped detain the man and calm him down. They turned the flights around and he was arrested immediately coming off the plane. Now, I always think to myself, somebody causes an entire flight, 100 and some passengers to be delayed where they're going. The plane has to turn around, all the fuel. Somebody, should be responsible for that if you're the passenger that caused that. If it's not a medical reason, if you're the person. So I was curious to see how this came out in the courts. Well, unfortunately for this gentleman, it didn't come out very well for him. He was ordered to pay the airlines and the passengers for delays $172,000 in fines. And that wasn't even enough. He was also sentenced to 6 months in prison. So you get drunk in an airplane, you cause trouble, so much so that they had to turn the plane around. Now you're almost $200,000 in debt and you have to go to jail for 6 months. This can ruin your entire life because you had too much alcohol going on to a flight. And I understand people who get nervous on going on a flight and like to have a drink on the flight, one or two drinks to calm yourself down. But apparently this man drunk an entire bottle of whiskey in the lounge. And my question is at this point, is that person should not have even been allowed to drink that much, period. Um, so it wasn't sure if it was in the lounge that he was drinking or if he had brought it with him and was sneaking the drinks, that sort of thing. Or it's just unclear where he got that much alcohol from. But the courts decided that it wasn't the airline's fault. So, in the United States, they do have laws where if a bar serves too much alcohol to a person and they can get into injury afterwards, like drunk driving or something, the bar could be held responsible. And the courts did not find anything wrong with the bars or anything at the airport. They put the onus completely on this gentleman. So that's just a warning out there. This is now a precedent in United States law. So you can also see this being applied to tours and cruises. If for anything like that happens, they may start charging and getting fines and looking for their money back. If you get drunk and fall overboard, maybe the cost will be on you next time and not necessarily the cruise line picking it up. Now that this is now a precedent, like I said, it's kind of like I've been following this since it happened because I wanted to see what the courts were going to say. Because quite often people just don't do that again, or they're not allowed to fly anymore. But they took it to the next extreme. Fines and prison. Apparently the person was that bad and there was so much evidence against him. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this will have repercussions going forward to the travel industry as a whole? Do you see people getting drunk at hotels and ruining other passengers or other guests' vacations, or causing trouble that they can actually be fined and charged nowadays. That'll be really, really interesting. But let me know what you think down below. I hope you liked this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.